Welcome everyone to another Thursday night, and you know what that means? It's New Comic Book Day plus one, and it's time for Comic Book Spectrum. Whether you're watching us live or on the rerun, give us your comments. Let's have a conversation, and we'll talk to you in just a few seconds. Hold on.
Seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
How dare you!
Well, we dare a lot because this is Comic Book Spectrum. Glad to have you with us. We've got some reviews and who knows what else. I don't know what else because we improv the heck out of this show. And we've got three cool guys who are joining me that know all about this stuff, and they're going to give us some great reviews and all kinds of wonderful commentary. And I'm going to unmute each and every one of them so that they can join in. Gentlemen, we got Clyde Hall, Eric Hawkins, and Jody McFee. How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
Happy Star Trek Day.
Living.
Nanu.
Schwarzbot.
That's right. I love R2D2. But anyway, we're glad you're here. Boy, that doesn't get the comments started. I don't know. Well, so anyway, thank you all for being here. The show is brought to you by Plasma Fire Graphics on Look of Your Book Matters to You, and also by Rising Tide Publications. And we want to thank our Patreon subscribers for helping support this show with their consistent and constant financial support. And if you want to be a part of the Rising Tide, check us out at www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. All right, there we go. And let's go around the room. The comments are accruing. Let's go around the room and let's introduce ourselves. We'll start with Joe, then Eric, then Clyde. Joe, lead us off. Who are you?
I'm just me.
Thank you. Next, Eric.
That's just like the old. If I shouldn't say old, but that's just like the movie line. They are them. It's just like they are them. It's like, well, who are they? They are them. It is.
And we're all together.
I'm Jody McFee. I'm the president of CDC Studios. I am the creator of Amazonia, Primetime Saturday Night, and AWF. Currently, we're fulfilling everything here, so if you should be checking your mail here shortly. For those who have bagged, you should have your packages shortly. Also, I do a small little show called Front of Desk of a Small Press Publisher, where as of late I been on this preaching kick. It's like I've been trying to get off this ranting type stuff here. However, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening as of late that makes me want to speak out about it, but hopefully this weekend I don't have to go that route. I want to get back to some more of the fun stuff, like, editorial comic book reviews and stuff like that. But we may have another one of those type of episodes where it's not just me talking about stuff, but it's going to be educational as you go along.
Well, and vague booking between us. I hope I didn't start anything before the show.
No.
Okay, good.
No, again, it's kind of like what I said on Never Mind the Furthermore. I'm getting to the point where I just want to be withdrawn from any type of conversation as a whole, because a lot of people do not understand or share the same definition of certain things, and when you confront them about it, one or two things either happen. It's either they get upset because you're undermining their belief, or they get upset because you're insulting their intelligence, because they feel that what they know as a whole is correct than the bigger scope of what's going on.
And you can multitask and do both at the same time. I've done that for years. So
Yeah, I mean, you're the purveyor and author of Fueled by Spite, which you need to put it back out there on Amazon again.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we'll try to have a calm night, Joe. I promise. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
And here he is, Mr. Eric S. Hawkins, the Pro Slayer himself. Yay!
Hi, Nora. Hi, Fiona. Hey, I'm Eric Hawkins, and I make comics. And
You make deep
drawing
comics.
trains right now.
You make,
Little advice: never do a whole comic about trains. Too much perspective. Way too much perspective.
perspective is good, especially if you do a book like me.
Every panel going this way, going that way. I can't wait till I get on the train. I won't need as much.
So are you saying I should look for another artist if I get that Thomas the Tank Engine license?
Yeah. I'll find someone else. Won't be me. I'll be on another train as long as I live. Thank goodness
okay.
after Zombie Adventures Tom Sawyer, I'm jumping right into Neverland.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Coolness. So stay tuned for that, folks. We will bring you all the stuff on that. Thank you, Eric. And here he is, our elder statesman, Mr. Clyde Hall. And Clyde has stay tuned for all of his stuff because he's got a little announcement towards the end of his, right?
Well, I was going to save that for the end of the show, but I can do it beforehand too.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, happy Star Trek Day, because on this date in 1966, the first original series Star Trek episode aired. So, if you're on Twitter, if you will, especially if you have a con memory or something of Nichelle Nichols, if you will put up a post and hashtag celebrate Nichelle on it, the Paramount folks are going to donate $1 to some of the charities that she was very, very associated with and contributed to. So if you have any kind of memories or things that Star Trek has inspired through this wonderful lady, then you should probably go over and do that and make some money for the charities that she cared about. But I'm Clyde Hall, and I'm an independent author and a contributing writer at so very many places. I do comic book reviews at Comics Beat and at Doom Rocket. I'm also a contributing writer at Stormgate Press with the anthology series, Pulp Reality Volumes 1 and 2 and 3, and coming very soon, Pulp Reality number 4. Also from Stormgate Press, I have stories along with Brian K. Morris that are featured in Tim Bruckner's Major Marjorie. It's pulpy sci-fi goodness, kind of the Star Trek before there was Star Trek era, and the next best thing to a Dimension X radio drama marathon. The Stormgate Press action is available on Amazon, but you can see everything that they have to offer at www.stormgatepress.com. And as for what Brian was talking about, I am proud to be a helper in an upcoming convention. It's called the Multiverse Funraiser, Funraiser. Annually, we do this as a weekend-long fandom jamboree and a charity fundraiser all rolled into one. The Cereal Box Network sponsors the Multiverse Funraiser, and it is hosted by Cosplay Cafe podcast baristas Crayley McDonald and Kelly Gettner. They are two halves of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay. Our next one is coming up the weekend of January 20th and 22nd through 22nd, 2023. Our charity this year is going to be the John Ritter Foundation for Heart Health. We're going to have sessions with celebrity guests. We'll have panels on a wide range of fandom and interests, from different TV shows to fiction to writing and comics, a little bit of everything. Cosplay is usually covered in several of the panels. January, it may sound like a long way away, but we collect donations of items in preparation, and we raise funds with them. So you could never begin too soon on that part of the process. If you have your own books or comics that you would like to promote, donating copies for our fundraising auction is great publicity. So if you want to do that, just follow the Multiverse, all one word, Funraiser, all one word, site on Facebook. And you can message Kelly and Crayley through that on how to donate items for the event. Or you can go to, this is all one word, the multiversefundraiser.com site and follow the contact directions. So those are ways that you can enjoy fandom, make fandom look good, and serve a really good cause. But now, get ready to have your minds blown by all the NCBD Plus One comic book reviews, news, and inspiration for your muse with the Rising Tide broadcast team right here and right now on Comic Book Spectrum.
Most excellent. Thank you, Clyde. And I'm Brian K. Morris, the alleged host of this show. I'm an independent publisher, freelance award-winning author, and publisher, and Facebook famous YouTuber, and working for other people. And you'll find this one with Clyde and myself and some other wonderful people. And this is the award winner right here. And also I edit comic books. Really good comic books, and it was announced this week I'm also going to be working for another publisher this week.
Yay!
So, yay! So, and Brian Rodman got his first story edited by me, and he's still speaking to me, so that speaks well of him. Anyway, I'm also a former mortician's assistant, which informs my work far more in an alarming sense than anyone realizes. And also, talking about Kelly and Crayley, they, along with myself and several great authors like Carl Witzman, Donna Carleen, and Molly Daniels, and many, many more, and Kathy Jackson, will be at CILCON, CIL-CON, in Mattoon, Illinois, at the Cross County Mall, Friday from 5 till 9, and then Saturday from 11 till 7. Please come out and see us. Admission is free. There's going to be cosplay. There's going to be a cosplay contest. There's going to be a comic book panel on Friday night with Kelly and myself, and it's just going to be a whole lot of fun. So please come see us, and some of those books you saw, you can get copies of from me. So please come see us at the Cross County Mall Friday the 9th and the 10th, Saturday at Cross County Mall in Mattoon, Illinois. Admission is free. It's a lot of fun. And so...
and if you hit Spittoon, you've gone too far.
That's right. And Chris Pine will not be there. Just to let you know, Clyde mentioned Spittoon, so we're not going to have that at our place. It's going to be sanitary. So anyway, and also if you're a fan of the paranormal, it's a great place for you, so please come see us, okay? And the comments, like I said, are coming in. And yes, it's time, Donna Carly, mwah! Looking forward to seeing you at the mall tomorrow and Saturday. And same with you, Carl Wisman. Good evening to you. And hi, Lissy. How you doing? Good to see you. And Carl says I was almost late while I was here, but playing with my phone. That's code. Anyway, everyone say hello and open hailing frequencies. That's right. And hey to the four dudes. Well, thank you for that. And Nora says hi, Papa. And there's Nick Tockert saying hello to us, the great, great new host of the brand new refurbished Never Mind the Furthermore, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. It is a quantum leap of improvement over the previous host. What a hack. Anyway, do check him out. So he's also great. And also check out Nerd Bacon every Thursday morning on Luke Stone Studios channel on YouTube and other places. He's a busy guy. And tomorrow night, while I will be selling books and hanging out with Kelly Gunner, Nick will have the the Fencing Guild that he does on Friday nights. Please check that out. And we also have the Star Trek action figures like Clyde has behind him. Those are the Barbie series, right?
Yep.
Those are dolls, not action figures.
Oh, yeah, but his Barbie
this
is
an action figure.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but Clyde's is also his Barbie is a frogman and an astronaut too, so it's all right. Everyone say hello to Nick, and maybe I'll catch Kelly or Crayley this weekend about donating to the fundraiser. And here's the burning question on everyone's mind: is Eric coming to CILCON?
What is that?
Tomorrow, thanks for the opening, Eric. Tomorrow from, wait a second, hold on, let me do this right. Hold on. Tomorrow at the Cross County Mall from 5 until 9, and then Saturday from 11 o'clock till 7. All kinds of fun, and admission is free. All right, there we go.
I found the last time I went, it was more. Comics wasn't a good venue for comics.
Well, you will be represented, I promise.
So, book novels and stuff, yeah, but comics, it was just like, everybody's like...
Yeah, but you got to hang out next to me all day.
And I got to meet Carl for the first time.
There you go, see? Doesn't get any better than that. Notice how he's skipping out on that part about meeting me, hanging out with me, though. I understand. Nick Tucker says, you need to do more shows. Your plugs are slipping, BCam. Huh? Anyway, I'm down to one, and I can't get it right. Anyway.
Actually, why don't you just record the plugs? You never have to do them again. Just hit the button.
That's true. That's a thought. That's a good thought. And then I can practice them all week.
I
and try
have
to make
occasional good thoughts.
You do. That's why it's fun to edit you too. Anyway, and don't trash Barbie, Dad. Please don't trash Barbie. And you can at least come visit and get a cover commission. There we go. And okay, I was thinking about buying some Zombie Full Oz, but you forgot you met me there too. Now you
I remember I met Donna too, because she's very busy running around from every booth looking for stuff to buy.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
so,
well, if you're looking for Zombie Full World of Oz, it will be there. I just won't be selling it. The editor will be selling it.
Yes, he will, and you can get the editor's autograph. If you don't want it, it's $20 extra. And because it's Silicon, usually it's a blanket $20 but for this weekend only, it's $20 per item. Anyway, so now we've got that down. I can score this weekend.
Wow, you're going to make money hand over fist over the Jack Kirby book.
There we go. Yeah, that's the one I don't have extra copies of, though. I got paid outright for that. I actually took cash. For some people, yes. When they don't live one state away. and poor Glenn is probably he's probably going through the rigors of hell right now, trying to get rid of all his old money because the portrait on it doesn't match anymore. And by the way, our highest regards to honestly to the British Isles, and God save the King, and maybe he will take us back.
That's gonna be the new thing that gotta get used to.
Yeah, because I was doing some research today, and I think we brought it up that we don't remember a time when Queen Elizabeth was not Queen of England. I'm the oldest one here. She predates me by about 4 or 5 years. So she has been. She is actually the longest running ruler of the British Empire in history, and the second longest ruler in the world. I don't remember who was number one, but
is it longer than this ruler?
Yes, yes, it is the same one I used on my wedding night. But anyway, we got more stuff here.
Is it longer than this ruler? Sorry, the yardstick's outside.
Yeah.
I don't even want to see Charles's mug on money. That's horrible. They got to take hers off and replace them.
I know, and but for the first time in ages, we've got like a consort. With Camilla.
Well,
she's not as
again, they just ruled that she could actually be known as queen.
Oh, really? I missed that. Oh, interesting.
They said it on the news.
Okay.
That Elizabeth gave permission for her that if they want to crown her queen, that they could.
Interesting. See, we live in a time of change, gang. Strap yourselves in. Let's see. Here we go. And here we go. Oh, Donna says, I think we can make a deal, Mr. Editor. Always. And FezCon, a.k.a. LibraryCon, is coming up October 8th in Fowler, Indiana, at the Benton County Public Library. There's a wonderful facility, and things are still being formulated, but there's going to be some cool people there. And I can tell you who one of them is from the name. It's gone. Anyway, and Jennifer Hawkins, glad to see him. Donna, what do you need? I can hook you up. He will be at work tomorrow. There we go. And someone hasn't gotten the news yet, apparently. Glenn Fleming says, God save the
Lock
Queen.
my office door.
Yeah. There we go. We could see a battle here. But anyway, Glenn is denying things. He's in strict denial right now, and or otherwise he's singing old Sex Pistols music. And she's been the only monarch in my life. Same with me. I mean, she predates my existence. And Star Trek's, to get back to that. And she trained to shoot machine guns at Nazis. Also, several members of her family, I understand. And respect. And the Queen was on the throne more than a quarter of the life of the United States. That's true. That's very true. And, yep, Queen Camilla. Okay, I think it's a good move. I really do. And Nick Tockert says the pound notes would be wider for his ears. We don't ear shame around here. We only judge. But anyway, Jennifer Hawkins says she can be queen because a king is higher than a queen. It depends on the relationship. Any man who says they have his household or monarchy will lie about anything. So anyway, and we've got some more comments. And Glenn Fleming saw the Queen twice. Well, that's very cool. That's very cool. That is very cool.
I'm still upset he hasn't been knighted.
There we go. And it's all that's standing in his way.
He has not been knighted.
Glenn Fleming hasn't? Well, if anyone should, it should be for this book about the king of comics. How about that? Anyway, also with the wonderful CD, please check it out on Indiegogo. And Jennifer Hawkins says, I have a key. And Donna Carleen says, Jennifer, we should get together. I don't have anything yet. And Glenn says, I would never sing Sex Pistols songs. That's okay. John Lydon hasn't sung any of them anyway. And Glenn Fleming says, and I am never in denial about everything. Oh, that's subtle, Glenn. I like that. And what? Wow, girl. Yes, says Jennifer Hawkins. And Glenn Fleming. Everyone's saying hello to each other. And with that, we get through your comments. Keep them coming. If you're watching on the rerun, please leave some below. Don't let all those Russian porn bots have all the comments in here, all right? Everyone's still saying hello. We're glad to say. And so here we go. Now, let's launch into the reviews. Now, Joe, are the lines open tonight?
Not really, because we still got 2 I'm going to take off for tonight because I don't remember what happened because it's been a bit. But I still got 3 that you could choose from here, and pretty much just kind of like 3 that has already been mentioned. So if you want to hear more about Captain Carter number 4, that's 1. Red Sita number 2, that's 2, and Nubia Queen of the Amazons is number 3. That's issue number 1 of that series. So you have 1 Captain Carter number 4, 2 Red Sita number 2, and number 3 is Nubia Queen of the Amazons number 1.
All right, excellent.
Did you guys notice how they made that Wonder Woman logo on that book look like a bat?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know.
The silhouette it looked like a bat. I was like, why is the bat on there?
Because DC knows what sells.
Wow.
And Nighty Night Glenn, thank you for being here, brother. And Hatch number 2, Hatch, what's up is on its way. That's what I want to hear.
Yep.
And yes, I do. It's a Chevrolet. Thank you, same person. And we have votes cascading in for 1 and 1 and 1. So keep them in. I think it's most of who's here. So anyway. So please cast your vote right now for the aforementioned comic books. And yes, thank you, some person. Vaudeville isn't dead. This is just how it smells. And Lissy says number 1. I'm sensing a trend that votes may be difficult to tabulate this week. So anyway, while your votes, we're going to give you some more time to do some votes here, and we're going to have a couple words from our sponsors. Yes, we have them. And first one is from Rising Tide Publications. Please check them out. They're available on Amazon and Smashwords. a plethora of wonderful publications that you can have for your very own. Go to Amazon.com and do a search for Brian K. Morris or for Rising Tide Publications. And also, we want to say a special word to our ongoing sponsor, Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
You've worked hard and written a great book. Now, it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
You've worked hard on that book, and it deserves the best cover you can get for it, and that's where Jeffrey Hayes comes in, Plasma Fire Graphics. Check out the Plasma Fire Graphics Facebook page, and then pop on over to plasmafiregraphics.com, where you can ask Jeffrey about his indie creator-friendly pricing. You'll be amazed when you see it. As Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And as always, thank you, Jeffrey Hayes, for being a part of this extravaganza. And we have some more votes, and some person is saying hello to Nick Tockard, and I think we got Donna's vote there, and Nick saying hello back. So I think the voting is pretty neck and neck right now.
If you say so.
I do. I'm trying to create some artificial drama here. I'm going to vote for, I don't know, number one, because I'm a wacky rebel. So
Nubia.
There's one.
I like bats on the cover, I tell you. So.
Oh, Batman's in that? Okay, cool. 3. I'm throwing mine in for 3 then. So, because I know Joe likes to talk about Batman. Anyway, so Joe, you got the screen here. Who is the winner?
Well, tonight's winner is Captain Carter number 4.
That doesn't look like Batman.
No, I look like Batman. But like I said, I know landslides when I see it, so it's just like it's no drama behind it here. Let's see. This is something that I remember here. Okay, so we got Captain Carter number 4 here. It was done by this has the most what I consider one of the weirdest reveals ever. Mm-hmm. But it's done by Jamie McKee, wrote it. Markia Cresta is the artist, and Matt Miller is the colorist on this here. And we're not going to care about the variant covers and everything to that magnitude. So, if you have been following it, I know it's been a while since I talked about Captain Carter. So if you've been following here on Comic Book Spectrum about what's been going on here, we're 3 issues in. So pretty much from issue 1, pretty much picture Captain America 100, except it's dealing with Peggy Carter. After she gets unthawed and everything, she joins this one agency. The agency pretty much don't know what to do with her, yada, yada, yada. You know, she's back. She doesn't want to be in the limelight. And all of a sudden, while she was on this one public bus, it gets attacked. She saves everybody, and now everybody knows that she's back as a whole. Which brings us to issue number 2, where she goes into the office, and everything seems like it's perfectly fine until somebody inside the office pretty much kind of set her and Betsy Braddock, who is also revealed as Psylocke for the very first time. You know, they're trying to, shut them down and try to kill them. So that brings us into issue number 3, where we found out that the failed assassination attempt on Psylocke happened. We finally get the resolution of that, and then she tries to reach out to Peggy. Peggy, then, while at Strike headquarters, which is the agency that she's a part of, she gets attacked there. She was able to make it out, and then they start investigating, and she happens to run into Tony Stark as she was investigating this one little bitty out of the way area where she was tracking down the major culprit that was trying to set them up. Which leads us to what we have here, Captain Carter number 4, where by the time that everything was said and done, it will explain the cover, why she has a wanted poster for 100 million pounds, not 100 million, 100,000 pounds. 100,000 pounds in US dollars nowadays is close to almost like $500,000 reward for Captain Carter. So pretty much it starts off with all the normal tabloids over there talking about, showing different news aspects and everything. And then it gives you a small little recap, but it goes right back into the battle where Tony and Peggy were there at this one facility, and they're trying to find a way, to figure out who's behind everything. So they're up here, almost getting overwhelmed and everything. And then, we're up here. It's like, well, this is Tony Stark without the armor, and he's fighting. And he's actually doing repulsor blasts from his hand. So we know that this is kind of like more or less not really an alternate reality, but a modification of the Iron Man lore, because parts of his armor is forming around the rest of his body as he needs it. So they're pretty much discussing, with the during the battle about everything that, they were trying to figure out and why he was actually there and everything. And, Peggy was up here. It's like, well, she's not trying to hurt anybody until she realized that these people have superhuman abilities. And once she realized that, she's like, you know what? I don't have to hold back anymore. In a way, that was her way of saying, if you remember in the movies for Captain America, she could do this all day type line. She's like, I don't have to pull my punches anymore. So she pretty much, went at him and everything. And pretty much one thing led to another. She clears out the first round, and here comes a second round of troops coming in to try to stop them. And then that's when Tony had the greatest idea of everything. Run away, retreat. So they ended up retreating, knowing that they have nowhere else to go at this point. They're trying to figure out what's going on here. So back at her neighbor's apartment, we have Psylocke here, and the neighbor trying to figure out what is going on, who could be behind everything, especially with the fact that Strike is, has set Peggy up as an enemy of the state. So they're tracking down clues and everything, and they get this weird knock at the door because they're up here trying to figure out, well, how can we communicate with Peggy? Peggy has no cell phone because of, again, everything that's being done right now, they could probably trace. So after this weird knock on the door, we get this one little gentleman over here say, hey, don't you remember me? I'm kind of like your neighbor. You gotta open up. I got a couple of things to tell you, and this, that, and the other. So she's up here like, well, I don't know who you are, and this, that, and the other. And it turns out it was actual holographic technology from Tony Stark to get them in the door without being noticed. So they finally get all together, and they tried to plot out exactly their next plan of attack here, since now Peggy is an enemy of the state. And they're trying to keep everything above board as far as not getting anybody else involved in this method here. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. The dog was barking about everything here. So with that being stated, they get, into this one car and everything. They travel out to this one area where they were going to talk to this well-known person who has intel on Strike. Now, instead of Peggy going in to talk to him, it was Tony, because Tony is the most unassuming person there. He kind of like that, if I could say, the rich boy about town that's here in Britain at that point in time. So he's going around, he's asking a couple of questions, and lo and behold, don't worry about the ad and everything. They was tracking things down, and then all of a sudden it was like breaking news. It was putting more of a slant on, if I could get into focus here, because I want you guys to be able to see it a little bit better there. They're up here, slandering Peggy Carter throughout the whole thing. Like she's going to kill, like, the whole thing about the killing of the prime minister and all this other stuff. And they was, plotting everything to make it seem like Peggy's going to come after the prime minister and all this other stuff, that she's just that much of an enemy of the state. So while while all this stuff was happening and talking here, and then they're up here talking, and Tony Stark is talking to the assistant and everything, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So they noticed that the person that Tony was originally there to see was gone, and they were trying to figure out where did he go. So he went all the way to the top terrace of the building and whatnot. And he's standing on the ledge, and he's up here. It's like, I can't tell you what's going on. I'm being controlled right now. Pretty much all of this is set up. Is set up from the jump. I'm sorry, Tony, but this has to be done. And he jumps to his death. So their one lead is now gone and whatnot. So they're up here saying, it's like, well, the only other thing that's left is really to go back and uncover what was in the facility. But this is after they figure out that it is Falsworth that is pretty much pulling all the strings here. And they're up here, it's like, well, it can't really be Falsworth, because if it's Falsworth, that would mean that this is kind of like high treason by the higher ups in the ministry department and everything, and royalty would not be find themselves in the middle of half of this stuff. So one thing led to another, and they just went ahead and went for it and whatnot. So Peggy goes out on kind of like a stealth mission to kill to come after the prime minister, to try to figure out exactly what was going on. Now, mind you, the prime minister has already put out a call for Peggy's head and everything, and kind of sort of predicted that he might be a target for later on. So with all of this being stated, so she's using the stealth technology that was given to her. She gets into the prime minister's keep, was right there about to get ready to grab him, and then lo and behold, he dodges, and he's up here laughing. It's like, aha, it's like, you thought you had me, the classic villain type deal and everything. And then that's when all these other soldiers rushed in, and pretty much she got exposed, and they took her into custody. But the thing about it is, like, how could he have known that she was there if she couldn't be seen? But her words rang clear, because the prime minister is a vampire. So the British side of the vampires are now trying to take control over everything. So that's where it ends for this issue. So now Peggy is about to get ready to fight the supernatural coming into issue number 5. And that's probably going to be the cover here. They're fighting a coven of vampires at this point. So it's a lot of nuances that's coming into play here. Now, do I like the changeover and the aha moment to say that, hey, Peggy's about to deal with vampires? It's okay. I mean, it's not the best thing to have happen, especially since you set it up as her being an enemy of the state. And when I say enemy of the state, we're talking about the enemy of the state of Great Britain. But also at the same time, it kind of introduced the idea that vampires still exist in the Marvel Universe, or at least in her version of the Marvel Universe, because again, we don't know if she's a part of the current continuity or not, if this is like a alternate world that she exists in while Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers still exist in the regular Marvel Universe. So we don't know if this is an alternate universe or not, as of yet, at least fully. But the fact that they're introducing vampires and the supernatural in this book kind of makes me think that they're probably going to go a different direction to kind of separate her from being that stereotypical Captain American book. Overall, the storytelling is not that bad. I like how they, trying to investigate everything and looking at everything as a whole as far as who could have set them up. But some of the execution to get to that aha moment about vampires still existing in this universe fell flat for me. So with that being stated, I would give this issue of Captain Carter, I would give it a 6 out of 10. And the only reason I give it 6 out of 10 is because the aha moment fell flat, as opposed to, knocking me out of my sock to make me want to read what goes on in issue number 5. Issue number 5 should be fun, but it doesn't have that same punch, It doesn't have that same punch knowing that all the strings are being pulled by vampires. It doesn't have that same punch, and I never would take, Peggy as a supernatural fighter either. It's kind of like one of those things. So it's like you got Peggy and Iron Man fighting vampires. Doesn't necessarily fit. Could be a fun story. I'm not going to, poo-poo it, but it could still be a very fun story. But it's just not what I consider a typical story for Peggy Carter, if I can say it that way.
All right.
I wonder if their reality's version of Baron Blood from World War II is part of the influencing factors of the undead being in the halls of power there.
But if that was the case, why wait until now? They had everybody in place. They have hundreds and hundreds of members to really take that country over already. Why wait? That's kind of like that. The reason why the aha moment doesn't feel just right as of yet.
Yep.
Now I have a more important question.
Yes.
What version of Psylocke is this?
Yeah.
It's Betsy Braddock.
It's Betsy? Okay.
It's Betsy Braddock. Betsy Braddock before that whole entanglement with Ray Vance and all the other stuff. You have to go back to early day of Captain Britain, Betsy Braddock.
Cool. Okay. Interesting. Carl Wilson says, yeah, that does seem a little off from the usual, at least a small amount of Agent Carter that I've seen. Yeah. And Nick Tockert is putting a vote in already for the Lady Mechanica trade paperback, which, from the sounds of it, maybe it had gone better than a 6 out of 10. But anyway. So, thank you, Joe.
Not a problem.
Appreciate it, man. And so next, how about Eric Hawkins?
How about Eric Hawkins?
All right, here we go. Here he is, this pro slayer himself, Eric S. Hawkins.
Well, first off, I was smoking some meat on Saturday. No, Monday. I'm sorry. This holiday has really messed me up. So I was out there and I was trying to get the fire lit, and I was using a traditional smoker instead of one of the electric ones. And later in the day, Jennifer goes, it's raining out here. You have a comic out here. I said, yeah, I know. She's like, you gonna take it in? I was like, no. I tore out some pages to help start the fire.
Oh no!
Oh dear!
It was
closet number 2.
I was thinking it was number 1.
So if I knew where the monkey meat was, I would take it out. I was going to record me burning it on the grill, but I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, but you've got food. You're going to be exposing the monkey meat smoke to food. Do you
Oh no!
really
But
want that?
after I was done smoking the meat.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I went to a different shop than normal this week for two reasons. They have the trade of Zombie World of Oz on consignment there, so I went to go see if they did. They keep track of it, but if they sell any, you got to come in and check see if they owe you money. And no, they didn't sell any. They're still there, but they're right out front, so that's a good thing. But I did go pick up my second printing of issue 2 of 8 Billion Genies.
Yay!
And then I was like, well, I need to get something to review. I was like, oh, look at that. That's kind of cute. And, okay, so here's the main reason I picked up this book. And I didn't know anything about it, but I just picked it up because the writer's name's Brian Hawkins.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it might be the Brian Hawkins I knew, Brian L. Hawkins. And it is Brian L. Hawkins. Who's he's done a lot of Kickstarters, at least 5 of them, but he's been involved in a lot of other stuff. So I knew of him, and we follow each other on Twitter and stuff. But this one is The Vineyard from Aftershock. Yeah, Aftershock.
Yeah.
And I was pleasantly surprised with this book. It was really good. Basically, it's about this family that owns a vineyard. And they've made a deal with, I'm going to have to look up the god's name. Dionysus?
Dionysus.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The god of wine.
Yes.
So they've made this deal with this god, apparently many years ago, to make 4 sacrifices each year before the harvest to, have a bountiful harvest. And their wine's the best tasting in all of the area, which is the Blue Ridge Mountains of West Virginia. But the father, or the husband, who did all the killing and sacrificing to the god, he's been in an accident. He's wheelchair bound and he can't do the slaughtering now. So he leaves it up to his wife and son to start doing the killing. So they have to go find bodies and people to kill and sacrifice. Now, here's the only thing I don't like about the book. I really can't pronounce any of the names in here. Other than Adonis, which is the son. But the mother is... it was really hard for me. Even reading it, I was like, I don't know what that says. And it's Maranatha? Maranatha?
How do you spell it?
Maranatha.
Maranatha. Yeah, I've seen the name. I don't know much more about her than that.
So I was like, I'm not even going to try to remember all these names. That's a cute name. But you find out, their winery is really cool. It's very popular with the townspeople. And she's got a friend who likes to come in and get wine. She's going to buy all their wine up, and she's kind of like a MILF, and she's like, your son's awful cute. I'm just kidding, though, But, if he wanted to come over and help me drink some of this, I'd be happy with that. Is that a MILF or a cougar? What do they call them now?
I probably am not the right person to explain this sort of thing.
But with the husband being laid up in his wheelchair and unable to do this, and the wife is really unable to do the killings too, the husband has to pray for forgiveness right now because they're behind on how many bodies they should have sacrificed as of right now. And it's because she has a hard time doing the killing, and the son's going to have to start doing it. Now, I do believe you'll see some of the god's handmaidens who are often around the father and the son later. But I don't think she sees them, only he sees them. Because so many panels that they are not in while she's talking to him and stuff. Where? And there's a daughter too who's a little estranged, but she's worried about her mom is going to have to come home with her husband. So that's not going to end well, I'm sure. But you get There's one panel I wanted to show off here. Don't tell me I imagined this.
You imagined it.
Oh, no. So the father's talking to his son about his mom not being up for the task, and he knows he can do all this. And apparently the little tree maidens believe so too, because they stick their hand down the son's pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know you can do it, buddy. Pegs, it's really a good book. I'm really interested in seeing where it goes. I even tweeted at Brian to let him know I really liked it. Because I had actually never read any of his Kickstarter stuff. We just had followed each other on Kickstarter. And I had to stop following him on Kickstarter because I kept getting all these notifications. And I'm like, my brother didn't back a book. So it kept coming up, Brian. I'm like, no. Has his account been hacked? So, the Adonis does go visit the best friend of his mom at the end of the issue to drink some wine with her, but he also brings a knife because they are a body shy. So I'm really interested in seeing where this one goes. I thought it was it's probably not unique, but it's unique to me. The story, making a deal with a god to have a bountiful harvest and using it for your business and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. The art's great in it. The artist is, and I know I wrote it down, Sammy Cavella, who's also done The Heathens, which I did really like the art in that, and Undone by Blood and Abbott. I'm really going to recommend this book. If this is probably going to be one of the highest scores I've ever given a book. I got to give it a 9. Because I just really enjoyed the story and I wasn't bored reading it.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
that happens a lot.
Hold on.
Let me skip a few pages. Yes.
It has sound effects too.
I don't know if there were sound effects.
What about
Joe?
What about skeletal ponies?
No, but there's a bunch of trees.
Oh, that explains the 9 then. Okay.
There's trees. There's got to be a sound effect when he. No, darn it! Come on.
Any trains?
There's no trains.
Oh, that's why I got such a high score.
Up here, it's like, you know what?
I found one. I don't know if it's right. Apparently, that's the sound a knife in the gut makes. Ram.
Ram.
That's not the sound I usually get. Oh, wait a minute.
I usually do it. I'm sure there will be some skeletons. I'm sure people are going to come back and try to haunt them. Maybe not horses, though. But that's the only sound effect in here. I'm sticking with a 9.
Dang it!
I'm going to stick with a 9 because I really like this story.
I'm trying to give you outs for like a lower score. It's like this can't be that good.
I really liked it. I mean, the father's just kind of a dick, and the mom is all worried about her son falling into the same blind worshipness of the father. And now the daughter's coming back with her husband, which isn't going to go good because the mom's says she needs to leave her husband and she's not going to do it. And the daughter's coming to talk her into it. And I'm sure either the son-in-law or the daughter's going to be the next body.
Okay.
Which one is named Adonis?
The son.
Okay, so Maranatha is it's mentioned in 1 Corinthians. A rough translation is "make room for the master" or "the Lord has come." Ooh. So that kind of fits. And Adonis, when you said that, I'm like, I bet he's basing them somewhat on mythology because Adonis was a beautiful youth that was connected to Aphrodite, I think. But
sounds right.
Did not end well for him. So
and he was on a Star Trek episode too, and it didn't end well for him there either.
Who mourns for him? Yes,
That's right.
Tie-in for my Star Trek theme, so thank you.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the father's name, but I can't. It was only like on one page. It didn't stick with me. I just knew I couldn't pronounce it either.
And Maranatha used to be used by some radio ministry back when I was a young man. That's who I was thinking of. That's why I was having trouble figure out who it was. So, and Lissy goes, wait, I thought you said this was a cute comic. And why not both the daughter and son-in-law get caught up and be rid of a nagging child?
Well, that could happen.
That'd work. And I'm still trying to work out how to explain Cougar and MILF without... well, we got the rated M for mature. Okay.
I don't think you have to explain it. Everybody should know what those are by now. I mean,
You'd think, but it is incumbent
surprised
upon me.
if
This
you
is the
are-
learning
you
place.
are-
A MILF is an external judgment, whereas a cougar is frequently internal. How's that?
Yeah.
I don't know about that definition.
Well, you're wrong, Joe. But anyway,
No, I'm not saying that you're right or wrong. I'm just saying I just
I
don't
am.
know.
I am.
well, what's a
What
gilf?
A gilf is a grandmother.
Oh, that's the book Joe's been reviewing. We all like.
No, guilt. That's what a T, not an F.
And this is where you do have to know what MILF stands for. Hint, it's an acronym. And
Grandmothers you'd like to titillate? Is that what you're saying?
yes. You'd like to fire truck. Ride in a fire truck with them.
I think
Run
the
the siren
father
number.
is Didache. Didache. Yeah, so the names aren't. Yeah. And I wouldn't let kids read. There's quite a few F-bombs.
Okay, cool. So you know it's a good book, kids.
I do.
Get your parents
I
to
like
buy it for you.
Unfortunately, I like the Closet #1, and I almost burnt issue 2. So I don't know what issue 2 is going to be, but issue 2 came out this week, so it's on the stands. If you're interested, go get them.
There we go.
Didache is known as the Lord's teaching through the 12 apostles to the nations, is a brief, anonymous, early Christian treatise written in Greece, dated by modern scholars to be the 1st or 2nd century AD. So, yeah, they're all tied into that whole Dionysus sort of mindset mythology.
Interesting. Thank you. Well, that was cool. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, that's like a really good series.
Yeah, that sounds good.
stuff.
I hope it is. Really good.
Real fast. The book 8 Billion Genies was mentioned earlier. I
It was?
learned this. It was.
Mhm.
It was. It isn't now until I brought it up. If we're going to get our verb tenses right. But no, 8, yes, that book down there, all 4 issues are currently readable on hoopla.com right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so they don't have, of course, no compilation.
I
yet.
am not reading any of them until I get Joe's next review.
Ah, there you go.
I'm holding off. Then I'll read them.
For issue 5, I believe.
Hmm?
I think I did all the first 4.
I think so.
I think you're right.
So I'm still waiting for it to come in the mail. If there was 5. Let me see. I have to double check if 5 came out.
See, how many of them I got here? Freaking Colin
I
Dunn
know
books.
1 through 4. I know 1 through 4 is out.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the only ones that I saw on Hoopla.
Oh, Twig. I gotta get caught up on Twig too.
Oh, and Carl Witzman has a little warning for me. Isn't now Joe Dog McKeel got a Facebook vacation mentioning grandmothers? It's kind of like the old joke about Tom Smothers when the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour was canceled, and he said that their network was CBS, and he said that the C in CBS stood for censorship, and their staff comedian and presidential candidate Pat Paulson said, "Tommy, it was okay that you told everyone what the CB and CBS stood for, but did you have to mention the other 2 letters?" But anyway,
Wow.
yeah, I know. But anyway, check out Joe Dog McKeel on Stupid O'Clock Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern.
No,
and
5.
Saturday. What?
5 comes out at the end of this month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I do have 4. I have 1, a reprint of 2, and 3 and 4.
There we go.
Yeah, I have to double check.
I haven't read them
I
yet.
did
I'm holding
4.
off. I want to see Joe finish it out. Then I'm gonna read them.
If anything, it probably is. I still probably haven't done 4, but I could have sworn I did 4. The first.
I think you
the first
did.
4.
Yeah.
But I could go back and check. I can double check here. But I've been waiting. I know I've been waiting.
But anyway, to continue my plug for our friend Joe Dog McKeel is on Stupid O'Clock at 9 o'clock Thursdays and 11 p.m. on Saturdays. Check it out. And stay tuned for Dan Holofield's Last Man Standing 2 hours later on each night. Thank you, the end. Anyway, I don't think I need to do a review this week because I only got 2 books. Dark Crisis on the Infinite Earths, which gives you an indication of the ending. Of course, so did all the press releases. And, of course, the Shudder Spooktacular, if you've missed any of the first few issues of this incredibly good horror magazine. Definitely check this out. It is worth your money. It is $9.95 from Warrant Publishing. And it's also got a beautiful, beautiful front piece by Kelly Jones. And an entire story from him that I did review back in the day. I mean, gorgeous line work. I mean, he's been not inked himself in ages. And I'd kind of like to see him get back to more of it. 10 out of 10 on this one. Art by Daniel Sampier is really good. A lot of fun dialogue. Setting up for return of something that we're not going to give you this spoiler for. But anyway, this one's a 10. Well, we'll make it a 9.5 out of 10 because I want this thing to come out because I'm intrigued by it. They've been setting this thing up for over a year. So anyway, those are my 2 reviews of the only 2 comics I could find this week that were worth reading for me because DC neglected to put out a Superman book. DC, shame on you. Shame on you 2 times. We need at least
double shame upon you.
That's right. We need at least as many Superman books as we need Batman books. Maybe twice as many. But anyway, a lot of things are gearing up now towards Action Comics number 1050, which is going to have 25 alternate covers. If you're wondering if I'm going to get them all, hell no. Because that's a lot. I don't want all of the covers. It looks like Steve Rude might have done one. I might pick that one up because he's always good. So anyway,
I had to look up see if Kelly Jones was dead. I thought he died last year. He's not. He's alive. He's alive and well.
That's good. 60s. Well, yeah, that's true because I remember him back in the '80s when I was in my 20s, and he had broken into the industry with books like Terraformers, which I'm sure you all have heard of.
Color Forms? Yeah.
Yeah, Color Forms. Yeah, they might as well have been. But anyway, I'm trying to remember the writer, but you can see the Kelly's the one that moved on. But anyway, let's see. We're caught up on the comments, so I guess that means we turn, of course, to Clyde Hall to bring some dignity to the program. Yay, Clyde. You've got an uphill battle, buddy. So anyway, here he is, the gold standard, Mr. Clyde Hall.
I guess I picked the wrong week to do a mad retrospective then, huh? Anyway, we'll start off with looking at what I have pulled from my local comic book shop, asking them to pull out for me for next week. As a heads up of what's coming out that I'm interested in, one of the things, I didn't put it on my pull list, but it is interesting and I might get it eventually. Vault Comics is going to publish a miniseries based on a Shudder property. And when Brian mentioned that he got the Shudder magazine, it reminded me, Revealer is a Shudder movie, streaming movie. It seems to have kind of a cult following starting, and now it's got this comic book feature. I don't know anything about it, but just the idea that it's based on a horror film that's on Shudder made me want to maybe check it out. And Vault Comics, I got to give them props. They generally have some good material, so it's getting to that spooky season. I might be ready for this. But otherwise, Marvel. Next week, Edge of the Spider-Verse #1 comes out, and I want to get it because I'm a variant sampling mood person right now. So the variant series that they put out has kind of got me primed for more variants, more spider variants. I want to see some. Midnight Suns #1. Now, this is not the same title as the original series from back in the 90s. Suns is spelled like the star, S-U-N-S. I'm gonna get that because I wanted to see I mean, when people at the comic book shop mentioned this and they looked at the lineup of the characters, which varies a lot from the Midnight Suns of the 90s for a supernatural kind of team, their eyebrows went up into their mid scalps. It was like, what? So I want to see how badly Marvel messes this up, or how well they do with a different concept. But there are a lot of mutants, kind of, Wolverine being one of them that's sandwiched in there, I believe. So I think, but there's some choices that are kind of weird. So Image, there's a series that I have started to get called Above Snakes. Number 3 comes out next week. But Above Snakes is a quirky, weird Western with a narrative set in the 1800s, but framed in the mindset of modern day. And it has a kind of reminds you of some of the Jonah Hex stuff from the past with a supernatural bent to it. It's got me hooked enough that I'm going to keep getting it just to see where it goes. Love Everlasting number 2 from Image. Eric reviewed number 1 and he got me hooked. I want to see how the second issue comes out. Can our heroine find lasting and abiding love in the opening story, or the 3 opening stories that she still remembers from issue 1 as her realities melt and reform around her in true fourth wall-breaking peril? Dark Horse has got Masquerade number 1. This sounded interesting, kind of a twist on a traditional theme with modern sensibilities. When you overcome trauma and you decide that a path of reckoning is right for you, how does your job as a trendworthy influencer mesh with your vigilante life? With a mask arrayed. Thus the title. IDW, True Cult number 2 continues, and I need answers. I need to know about the Satanic Cult special delivery package stolen by overachieving robber and long-suffering Burger Lord employee Marty, and how it's all going to turn out. And I'm also going to get Star Trek Lower Decks number 1, because it's an overdue, humorous look at Trekdom. All it took was the Orville getting the green light and doing well for Trek to finally explore some of the final funny frontiers. But once the Trek powers got that green light, they wasted no time exploring strange new witticisms. And I enjoy the Lower Decks that I've seen so far. And full disclosure, I'm getting this launch mainly because it's a belated Star Trek Day gift to me. So those are my choices, and those are why next week I'll be getting those from my comic shop, and I may get Reality too if they get it in or order it, or maybe Comixology it if I have to. But other books that came in this week include Shazam number 2, really good follow-up to the first issue. Went in some directions I did not expect. We're exploring more and more about Mary's personality and the dynamics of her family as things have changed for all of them, including the disappearance of their foster parents. When you have kids that have been in the system as long as they have, disappearance of foster parents, that's very traumatic. They're afraid they're going to have to go back into the system. And Mary is the only one that's of age to help keep them out. Of course, she's a college student, and now she has the champion of Shazam abilities. So superhero and a college student, this is going to be difficult. And they're in this phase of the story where her difficulties are amping up, along with some of the enemies that she's drawing. So Moon Knight number 15. I think Eric said he kind of lost interest, or they lost him in some of it, but this is a really good exploration of the 3 personalities trying to get along together. Not a huge action. This is sort of like the calm before the storm, I think.
Has that got Miracle Man in it?
Well, no. They're doing the covers. I hate when they do this. It's like, oh, look, we're going to put Miracle Man on every cover. Is he in it? No. Then leave him off the cover. What? Why? What is this? Anyway, but it was a good issue. I liked it. I got some younger fare, Batman and Nightwatch number 1, and it's a $2.99 book. It's for younger readers, and pretty good job of making an interesting story. They're sort of doing the Sherlock Holmes Baker Street Irregulars by getting normal, everyday people in Gotham to help them track down leads. And so the first two stories involve that kind of stuff. It has a nice modern take. Batgirl tracks some activity through their version of Twitter. They're looking for somebody, and they, sightings of this character keep popping up because people report it, and this is what gives them the idea for Night Watch. It's a very satisfying read for younger readers. A less satisfying read, but celebrating her 60th anniversary, is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah, I think this is a good example of let's celebrate by doing the least possible thing that we can do. We'll try to introduce like a new bad guy, a main nemesis for Sabrina. Yeah. In a new story that's about 4 pages long. Yeah. And then we're going to put a bunch of reprints in here. At least it's only $2.99, but I was underwhelmed. AWA put out Erratic, and it is a very modern kind of hero, a young hero who can only have powers for 10 minutes a day. So I thought that was an interesting deal, but its perspective is very much, it needs Ritalin, this whole thing. The narrative is very fast paced and it's very erratic. I think young readers, tweens, and teens would probably get a kick out of this kind of hero. It seems very much written for them, and it's very creatively done. I love the artwork. Just look at the motion. It's just so exciting. So they got my attention, and I'm glad I picked it up. I don't know that I'll get more of them, but I really did like it. Now, I'm going to risk raising Eric's ire because this was good enough for an opening issue. I'd give it it's average. I don't know where it'll go from here, but it is a Cullen Bunn. It's a horror story, so that kind of
horrible story.
Shock Shop, and here's why I like it. He does an okay job on there's 2 stories, and they're both introduced. It's in chapters, but we have the one chapter is here, and I do like the kind of the horror host way he goes about introducing this new series. It's very much like a Saturday horror show. So got that, and the horror hostess's name is Desmondia Nimue Moreau. So yeah, I give it props for that. But you got one story
is it
here.
Really horror? Is it really horror? Is it thrillers? Is it something that is horror adjacent? Because I have not reading a true horror comic recently.
I'll show you a panel, and this kind of sums it up. It's a little early to tell if it's going to be real horror because these are opening little bits for 2 different stories, so we only see a little bit. But I did think that this was a pretty horrific panel.
Nah.
Okay. But it's set up like horror stories. Now, will it fulfill? Don't know. But they're set up that way. Not so much suspense. This supernatural horror, supposed to be.
Did
Bunn
write both stories?
He did.
Huh.
And different artists and everything. This one is a very nice Neil Adams cover. Neil Adams tribute cover. I really like that. But you have half of it in one side of the book.
Oh, it's a flip book.
It's a flip book. I like that. I thought it was it satisfies my cheesy longing for Halloween stuff to come. So I thought it was I'd probably give it about a 6 because there's just not enough story yet to know. And I don't trust Cullen to come through.
Well, go out to Dark Horse's website.
Well, there you go. No, you get a good feeling of what the story is about. I'm just not sure how well he'll fulfill. Will he stick the landing? He set up 2 pretty good ideas for stories, but not sure. But it was as quirky and it's kind of fun. So, but my review this week is a Marvel book, and the Sabrina one kind of cemented why I'm doing this one because it is a kind of a tribute book. It's Ant-Man number 2 of a 4-issue limited series. Marvel, $3.99. It's written by Al Ewing. It has art by Tom Riley. Colors are by Jordi Belair, and letters are by VC's Corey Pettit. The maturity level is Teen Plus. And this is the cover. The first issue looked at some classic styling of uniform for Ant-Man. This one is one from just a few years ago, different one. While I write for various sites, this is my own independent feature, and it should not be considered representing any views of those sites or comic book spectrum. But to show you some of the artwork here, there's a scene, I really like this, where the main character is trying to figure out a way out of a predicament. He comes up with the same conclusion every time, but I like him working through his options and all of them ending badly. This whole panel of progression here. I don't care very much for the art, but that's part of the point, actually. We'll get into that. This is, I thought, interesting because you have an Ant-Man that is ineffective, so he gets the ants to try to exhume a body. He never really thinks about how long that's going to take. Even for a whole bunch of ants to do it. We have some very nice industrial rams for special effects fonts. And follow-ups with Wham! Part 2 down here. And where's the other one at? Okay. And some pretty good action. Takes a while to get to the action, but near the end of it, we have some knockdown dragouts on a subatomic and reduced size level. So, every major comics company seems set on celebrating anniversaries in 2022, either for their characters or for their business itself. Like, Image Comics turns 30 this year, and they've been celebrating. Sabrina the Teenage Witch is 60. Wildcat is 80, but no one noticed. And it's also a 60th birthday celebration this year for one of Marvel's greatest insect-themed superheroes. And no, not Spider-Man, because that would be Marvel's greatest arachnid-themed superheroes. No, this is the Costume Adventure and Avengers founding member, the astonishing Ant-Man. Many of the bigger celebrations, again, not Wildcats, are commemorated with oversized special anthologies consisting of new material alongside vintage reprints, or the return of iconic characters upon which the company was founded. No, Wildcat, that's still not you, okay? But Ant-Man may have been given the best birthday of them all, and frankly, it feels overdue. In the late 60s, when I started getting Avengers comics, it was just in time for the Kooky Quartet era. Only later, with back issues and reprints, did I find out that Ant-Man, aka Giant Man, was there from the beginning. Kind of like finding out after reading the 70s Justice League issues and Dick Dillon's work and the Justice Society crossovers that, oh yeah, Martian Manhunter was in the League once too. Like right at the start, a founding member and everything. But to recognize this milestone in miniature, Marvel decided to give the Ant-Man of the hour his own 4-issue limited series, written by Al Ewing of Immortal Hulk fame, drawn by Tom Riley, and with each issue focusing on different versions of Ant-Man from across the decades. Then, all of those iterations being wrapped up into a time-hopping epic story, which may introduce a new once-and-future version of the hero. But wait, there's more. Each issue not only focuses on one of the hero's eras, but also serves up a unique homage to that time period. In number 1, Ewing scripted the story in remarkable and bombastic Stan Lee voice. And he used the storytelling props of the 60s, like thought balloons and enclosed narrative text apart from the dialogue. All that was missing, and I wish they had done it at least once, were footnotes instructing readers to check the back issues. And each one of them signed Smilin' Al, But Riley handled the art for number 1 in what I would consider to be a faux Don Heck homage, mimicking the classic page layouts and the line styles. In Ewing's and Riley's work, we see the love that they had for this character and the respect that they felt for the creators from those early years, which makes this anniversary product a true celebration of concept and craft. In issue number 1, we left Hank Pym's Ant-Man scooped up by a visitor to his time in reality, one who says he needs many Ant-Men to battle a future chronal disaster. And in number 2, we have another inheritor of the Ant-Man mantle, one Eric O'Grady, also known as the Irredeemable Ant-Man. That was the title of a 2006 series helmed by writer Robert Kirkman and artist Phil Hester. O'Grady is a minor S.H.I.E.L.D. operative who discovers where one of Hank Pym's suits is being stored by the organization. With very low and specific goals, the morally bankrupt Agent O'Grady steals that suit and plans on ways to use it for profit, or blackmail, or gathering embarrassing but useful personal information, or getting dates with women. It wasn't familiar to me what this storyline was about. I had not read this Ant-Man until I got this issue and wanted to know more about him. It was a surprise to me that they weren't covering Scott Lang as the second Ant-Man, as probably the second most well-known. But honestly, this turned out even more entertaining. The protagonist is such a loser. We just can't help but laugh and take some consolation that had we an Ant-Man suit, we would surely do far better using it or exploiting it for fun and profit. O'Grady realizes that after he's rented a Fleabag hotel room and examined the suit, he forgot to get any Pym particles with it. So while the helmet and the equipment allow him to communicate with and control ants, the size controls are useless. He considers several inadvisable means of acquiring the needed particles, and that's that scene where he's going through the whole different ideas, and he plays out mentally how each of those plans might proceed, but they all seem to have the same final act: O'Grady caught, convicted, and dying in jail. So on top of these worries, O'Grady also has Hank Pym to deal with. Not the real one, but as this tale and O'Grady's tenure as the Irredeemable Ant-Man took place during the Skrull-infused Secret Invasion, Pym is a Skrull operative posing as the scientist. So Skrull Pym has also boosted the Ant-Man armor with Skrull tech to make it function better. It's that suit, that particular armor, the stored one, that Skrull Pym upgraded, and now O'Grady has stolen. Skrull Pym fears this is some new inheritor of the Ant-Man mantle who's discovered his plans. He imagines this hero will now use the alien tech as proof to other heroes and higher-ups that the Skrulls are afoot. Pym Skrull therefore wastes no time trying to reclaim the suit and silence O'Grady permanently. Well, it doesn't work out that way, and by the end of the tale, our time traveler has the real Pym as Ant-Man and O'Grady as Ant-Man collected into his growing group of Ant-Vengers. The good. Magnificent fourth wall breaking. In the original Irredeemable Ant-Man run, there's an ant narrator that would recap what happened each issue before. Not only does an ant do the same thing here, he reminds us that, hey, in the Kirkman comic run, there was an ant narrator that did this, and it was his ancestor that was that narrator. Both Ewing and Riley delve back into the writing and art styles of the era that they're encapsulating. Just as Ewing nailed the scientist hero template that Stan Lee often used in those early years, Ewing voices O'Grady as Kirkman originally did. That would be an opportunistic, kind of pitiable but funny protagonist lacking any appreciable moral fiber. Humorously, even the Skrull agent posing as Pym calls him out for the limbo-level lows that he's willing to go. And through it all, Ewing does a very passable job recreating that smarminess and attitude of Kirkman's original series. It's the same spirit which made Kirkman fill the last of his unceremoniously and abruptly canceled run. That was issue number 12, with an army of also canceled Marvel characters for his Irredeemable Ant-Man to fight. And that same spirit, it endures in Ewing's script here. Ewing also adds in several jabbing comments about how the events of the issue take place only 6 years ago by the way the Marvelverse clocks run. So he is not above lampooning the heck out of the way Marvel and comics in general, how the time disparity goes. For example, see the 6-month training sessions for all 5 or 6, or maybe now it's 7 or 8 Robins. He also has fun getting not only into that dim but comedically amoral mindset of O'Grady. He has a lot of fun with the capable but overconfident Skrull Pym as the villain, working through the stolen suit situation and plotting taking whatever means necessary to keep his race's infiltration of Earth a secret. Riley on the art also provides an eerily accurate mimicking of Hester's art style from that original 2006 series. And that's one of the reasons I went and dug up that old series on some online issues to see what the artwork was like and to how it read. I was amazed at how close Riley came. It almost looks like the same guy doing the art. His work here is even more dead on than that Heckamania tribute concert he did for #1. And it made me think, too, really I'm surprised that they didn't try to replicate a Kirby style, because a lot of the early Ant-Man was Kirby. If Riley meant to be a Kirby tribute #1, he did not really do that one well. I think he's going for the Heck look, but the Hester Palooza tribute band that he leads is Galaxies Beyond Better in #2. Jordi Belair on colors. I have admired Jordi's work, and somehow in #1, I think it's the shading. It almost looks like it is on pulp paper, the way it appears. And then she turns right around and she makes the color in this #2 issue reflective like Baxter paper almost. Again, I think it has to do with the shading. I'm not sure how, but it's very impressive. And VC's Corey Pettit manages a moderate to heavy dialogue load. If you look, there's a lot of dialogue here to parse through. Keeps it balanced. And then he doesn't get a lot of chances to do special sound effects, but when he does, he makes them shine for all they're worth. The bad. There's not very much that could lower my enjoyment of issue #2. We get mysterious developments to pique our interest. We get subatomic battling. We get excellent characterizations. We get several laughs traveling along this quantum roadway. One drawback for some readers might be that this entry is light on action until it gets to the very end. It's more focused on plot and characterization. And these characters are bent on keeping low profiles and maintaining their infiltration agenda. So it kind of fits. And also, really, Ant-Man is not the character traditionally that gives you a whole lot of knockdown dragouts. He's a brainy guy and an inventor who used his discoveries to become an adventurer. We never saw Hank Pym shrinking into a doll-sized jungle realm and becoming a sword-slinging barbarian with a mask. Sorry, Ray Palmer and the Sword of the Atom Tales, and sorry, Gil Kane, but it's just the truth. The takeaways. 2 issues in, and this is more than just a worthy tribute. This is a brilliant labor of love, and it builds momentum with each installment. As he's founding character of the Marvel Age of Comics, seeing Ant-Man celebrated this way is a treat. The next 2 chapters cannot come soon enough for me. Compared to some character anniversaries, this one's not getting the hardcover treatment, and it doesn't have scads of variant covers or realms of reprinted Best Adventures anthologies at a $9.99 cover price. This is a regular price, 4 issues, but it is also the only anniversary thing I've seen this year that earns a 9 out of 10 from me, and that is no small feat for an Ant-Man-iversary.
Wow. We're used to 8.5s from you, dude.
I know. But no, this one I thought deserved it.
I guess I let the crowd down here. We had a 9 for Eric, and now a 9 for Clyde.
That doesn't happen every day. It has to be something.
No, definitely not with me.
Yeah.
I'm the point slut around here. I'm the one that gives 10s like they were dollar bills at the strip club. So,
and I'll be honest. Other weeks, that I might have ventured in that territory. There's so many other good things that kind of like lessens the impact of a one singular issue to maybe flatline it a little bit. But I didn't have a whole lot this week. Well, there was a few nice things, but nothing that came close to this in its quality. So,
sounds good. Thank you, Clyde.
You're welcome.
And let's see. Let's catch up with our comments here. Carl Wisman observes that dignity is going to be hard after this show. Usually is, and usually for most of us having to live with it. What we say, and how's this different? Asks Donna Carlene. And true, Donna, it's hard to back cleanup for this group. Yeah, I'm sorry. And where's the fun and dignity? Asks Lissy. Thank you, Lissy. Thank you. And Sabrina sounds like one of those compilation videos on a TV show. You know, no, you know what that sounds like in the older days of TV, when especially syndicated shows, when they were falling behind in production, and so somebody would say, "Well, we must, fight this menace." Well, wait a minute. This reminds me of the time we like Wayne's World.
If you wanted to keep the Star Trek theme, you're talking about the repackaged the Cage episode.
There you go. There you go. Way to stay in theme, young man. Well done. But they always had these flashback episodes, and Ultraman is still doing those. Hi, I was killed by Ultraman last week, but let me give you a tour of all the monsters he's fought, sort of thing. And Carl Witzman says, "True, Lissy, true." And I didn't realize how much is lost when they don't hand draw the wham. It's true. It is true. Yep. Talk to Glenn Fleming about it. He is a stickler for hand-drawn effects, and he makes a good case for it.
Come up with that font.
Yeah, what was the font for that one, Eric?
I believe it's called... It might be Mumble. I think Mumble by Blindbot. Go check it out today.
Oh, dear God. Anyway... So, does anyone have anything they'd like to discuss tonight? No is a valid answer.
There's not been a whole lot of... DC hasn't done anything terribly stupid for their Warner division this week that I've heard of. So
they did lose that out on that one guy who was going to be their Kevin Feige. Yes. A guy with great credentials. I think he worked on, like, the Lego movie and stuff like that. I mean, real solid background.
But he gave I thought his answer was really, really... well stated. He was like, no.
Yeah. I want to be compared to like the most popular franchise in cinematic history this side of James Bond. You bet I want that pressure. Let me just load up on the Malox now. So yeah, I can see where he wouldn't want that sort of pressure on him. And given that Warner's would like, wait a minute, you've been on the job 5 minutes, buddy. Why haven't you turned this around? And hello to you, Mr. Rainbow228. Hope you're having a good night.
Yeah,
thank you for being here.
Yep.
So yeah, I can see not doing it. But yeah, you're right. This has been a light news week, except for one thing that happened today, and we are not going to talk about it. I promised we would not. So all of you...
It'd just be interesting.
It would keep us here for another 4 hours.
I don't have that kind of time.
I don't either. Yeah. Eric, who are you drawing tonight?
Yeah.
I'm going to draw Solomon Kane.
Okay, so explain the theme.
The theme is just pulp.
Oh.
Pulp heroes, so that's what we're going to do.
I almost suggested the Phantom when you talked about it. Because I think he is...
We're going to draw him.
Okay. I think he's a very pulpish, even though he's not technically...
Yeah.
But
and I already saw someone's drawing the Shadow, so
right.
I thought that'd be popular, yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the results. That ought to be fun.
Yeah,
that ought to be a lot of fun.
That should be.
And everyone's saying hello, and I am no, you're absolutely wrong. I get readouts. We do have people watching on Facebook. They just might not be where you are. So you got to get to where the cool kids are, and that's YouTube. Anyway, everyone's saying hello. Glad to see that.
I did see Jim Lee's going to do some pages for the Hush anniversary issue coming out.
Ooh.
Like 4 new pages, 5 new pages, something like that. With Jeff Johns and Scott Williams going to ink them. And, well, I don't think anyone else ever inks them, but...
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, Scott Williams. I did see one page, though, recently where Jim Lee, for the first time in, like, decades, inked himself.
Oh, he'll ink himself quite a bit when he does stuff like that.
I don't see that too often. I just see mostly the Scott Williams stuff. And I'm not complaining, because Scott Williams is an astounding embellisher on him, I think.
Oh, he's an excellent artist as well.
Yeah, he is on his own right. Yeah, that's true. It's kind of like a lot of these artists like... Joe Sinnott back in the day when he was inking like everybody, but particularly Jack Kirby. People forgot he was an incredible penciler too. So
inkers aren't actually tracers, most of them.
No. The only people who think inkers are tracers are the same people who think that letterers don't add to a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I say, frankly, I have turned comics away if it's got bad lettering. I really have. When I used to do mini comics back in the 80s and 90s, I hand lettered a lot of the stuff. I still have my Ames lettering guide. And I know that what they are doing, they are basically as much an artist as the person doing the inking and the penciling, because they are not just writing these things out, they are drawing the letters and drawing the sound effects. So yeah, it's it's an art unto yeah, it's from Mr. I can't find a handwriting font that's legible. Anyway,
it was quite legible.
In the
it was very girly, just like a girl would written.
It was written.
Written.
I can read it, but the new one was better.
It's kind of hard to find ones you really like.
Yeah, I will admit that a lot of them come off either too Jane Austen-like, too much flourish, or they look like a seismograph readout,
or they look too computery.
Exactly.
That's a word.
Right.
Exactly. So
too artificial.
Yeah. It's an art. And I am Toki's Wartooth makes it up to me by saying, hit that like button. Be sure to hit the like button on Facebook. And if you're watching us on YouTube, where you should be because it's got better sound, better quality of picture, give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed any part of this or plan to in the immediate future. And definitely subscribe to this channel because we got some cool stuff that I'm actually going to be working on this weekend if I get some idle time.
You want this imaging to be quality.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. Like we are a treat for all the senses here. And you want to get the whole enchilada here. And if we ever go scratch and sniff, we're spending the long buck on it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, thank you. I am Toki's Wartooth. So it sounds like Eric might actually get to the show on time and have time for prep.
Well, yeah, I've it's the normal. I wouldn't say second host, but he's the guy he spreads all the word of it, shares and all that, and I do the thumbnails for them. He's out surfing this week, so I had to drop reference and all that. We even did sign up for some books for next couple weeks.
Oh, good.
But yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's a good opportunity, Eric, now to thank the person who does our thumbnails, and that's Mr. Clyde over here. Every week, Clyde puts together those beautiful montages featuring all of us, and I especially like being droopy.
I giggled over Eric's for
Eric's was
fun.
When
you work out and then you go do something else, you come back and go.
I'm so
the next time
happy.
you do BK as Droopy, you have to find the cartoon where he has the senorita. It's like she would not want you, and she comes back. It's like, oh no, and he sitting there with that big old smile, talking about happy.
Yeah, I love Droopy. I swear I love Droopy. It's like Clyde was reading my mind, which is probably why he was blushing about the color of his shirt. But anyway. And you've been watching older episodes all week. Well, cool. Well, we're going to go back and we're going to put time signatures on all those eventually. I'm actually getting some of my writing and editing assignments done right now, so yay. So I can finally go back and do some sprucing up, yes. And just when I took on a new client for editing, yay. But anyway, and we hope you're doing well.
He's going to have a hard time writing a book. Don't worry about it. You'll be able to edit it quicker than you can write it, so.
Well, unlike certain people that I have this agreement, just make sure I don't misspell too many things. It's like Brian. I told him, I said, now I'm doing I'm currently editing an anthology for another publisher, and as well as my own work on the Terrors. And I told him, I said, dude, I've got a few comments to make. It actually is an excellent story. I will say that it's a super story he's got going. For Pulp Reality number 4 from Stormgate Press, stormgatepress.com, and yay! But anyway, he said, now if you see something egregious, don't let it slide. Well, in editing, you don't look for that first mistake, but once you find it, they all go, me, put some red ink on me, we like it. So
my editing is probably the easiest you have to do, isn't it?
Yeah, but given the parameters I've got, yeah. No, I did make one. I have made one editorial comment, and it went well. It was added to the book. That's what helped make that #1 issue a masterpiece. Chef's kiss, mwah. You know what we're saying? Eric's like, you are so full of crap. Anyway,
I'll burn that one next.
That one's going through the shredder now. And yay, writing! Yes, we're proud of Eric's writing. Anyway,
Did we talk about Brian actually? That he's not going to be doing comics for a little while. He's going into prose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, prose is significantly easier for him,
Yep.
given his, and he's open about this, so I'm not really telling anything out of school. He has severe asthma.
And that's why he hasn't been joining us these past few months, all summer.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, up there, it's like I know people probably missing with the Bingos because the Bingos haven't been around for a couple of months, and normally they would have been back in their next season by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was relieved because I signed up to help write a story for the EULA part of the stories, and I've only done a few comic book scripts, and I was real. And of course, they've never seen print or anything, so I'm just really sweating having to get back into that because I think that's much harder than writing prose.
I
And
think
he's
so
like,
too, Clyde.
Huh?
I agree, it is.
In all
is.
seriousness, I agree. I
And,
agree too.
So when he said,
Yeah, Joe never know. Joe will never know the joy.
when he said, hey, we're going to do these prose stories.
I'm afraid of prose because prose you have too much variety that you could do, and you can lose your best.
That's what I like about
It's
it.
wide open.
I hate that. I hate that. I really do.
Prose smells your fear.
But I was relieved when he said we're going to do prose work. I'm like, good.
Yeah, and I can do a prose story faster than I can do a comic story, so I'm in it too.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm sorry, Joe. I talked over you. I apologize.
No, I think you just got to prove a point because when I was doing the role-playing module, to me, that's getting more and more right into prose, and I'm out there like, I can't say it this way because that changed the meaning of this. I have to say it in a certain way where everybody can get the same meaning at the same time, and that's difficult.
Yes,
People
it is.
underestimate that, and this is one of the things. One of the cool things about my job is that every so often you get to write manuals, and writing manuals is a good way to understand how people may think and see things. It's prose, yes, but I don't like it. That's the reason why I hate it. Because I know for a fact that with certain things you have to be clear. But a lot of times to be clear, you have to be descriptive. And the way that you get descriptive can throw people off.
Yeah, and there's a fine balance in that descriptive part too. Yes, Eric?
Oh, it's waving.
Oh, waving.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, well, we will get to Carl. And, well, folks, thanks for a good show. Gotta get ready to hassle the stupid o'clock, folks. Give them our love, Carl. Thank you for being here. And I am Toki Ward. Toki Ward too. Spelling is passe. With some creators, it seems to be. That's why I make money at this. Anyway, or trade for goods. Anyway, but no, no, it is, and it really, even in comics, you have to be clear with your meaning because I've read some, when I edited for other companies, I've read scripts where you have to be totally clear for your artist. You have to convey what you as the writer want to see in the panel, or at least all the high spots of it.
You never do that when you write something for me.
I
draw a picture here.
Usually when I write for you, Eric, it's because I've written for somebody else who needs the extra guidance, and I'm still in that mode. And we got a special guest here, Mark Lerner, my oldest friend, a great friend of mine. Greetings from the prairie, greetings from the big city to you, my friend. Hope to see you this weekend at SilCon at the Cross County Mall, Friday evening and all day Saturday. Mark, I'm glad you're here. Much love to you and the family. But yeah, you still have to be precise. And, I understand the hatred of writing manuals, because I've written 3 of them when I was in the water company. And the thing is, you have to assume the person knows nothing. You know, whereas in comics and serialized, any sort of serialized fiction, you can assume they carry a certain amount of knowledge about things. Whereas I have found that when I'm writing procedures, I have to assume this person can't tie their own shoelaces. So you know, that's what makes it difficult, and also the language can be a lot more fun. You know, in prose, it can be a lot lighter, whereas it has to be kind of clinical almost in, you know, certain types of writing, almost academic, which is a major PETA for me. So, because I'm usually the guy that's like, I'm getting bored with this. Here's a joke. So.
When you have, I agree. When you have to deal with certain simple things that you don't take another thought about it, but you have to, like turn the doorknob. Sometimes you have to think left or right, because somebody's going to ask that question, left or right. It's like it doesn't matter if you turn it left, it's open. If you turn it right, it's open. You have to make sure it's clear. It's just.
Yeah, it's a pain. It's a whole nother animal. Whereas comic scripting, I put much higher on my to-do list, things I would like to do list, than I do manual writing. Because if I have my way, I will never write another manual again. I have done my time. I have paid my dues, so to speak. So we ain't doing that no more if we have anything to say about it. So I graduated to the big leagues now. So. So with that, it sounds like we have run to the end of the road here. And we're going to get out of here in under 2 hours for once.
Yay!
Yay! Huzzah! And so let's go around the room. Same order. Joe, Eric, then Clyde, then I'll wrap it up. So Joe, take us out of here and tell us how people can keep up with your amazing self.
It's right there on the screen. That link tree, everything that I do, except for my gaming channel. That's the only thing that's not there. I'm not certain if I'm going to put it there or not, because if I do, people are going to expect me to do more gaming stuff, and I'm not ready to do that as of yet. But also, with that being said, it's still up in the air as far as what Saturday's episode is going to be about. Most likely, I still lean towards doing comic book reviews, but you never know. Somebody may say something where I might have to rant again. But I'm trying to get away from that. But the thing about it is, it just seems like the more I hear people talk about things as if they are authority on it, and I'm just sitting here like, that's not how it works. I'm like the Geico door. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. It's like I'm that person, that lady that's there, just like, how can you just have that type of thing? But I try to make it positive and educational instead of just running off at the mouth. And that's the cool thing about it, if I do another one of those here. But if we do the comic book reviews, pay very close attention, because there's going to be some newer books that certain people, I'm not going to name names, may want to know how I actually think about their books, because everybody else probably already did their reviews. Not going to mention no names. However, he might have a few things to say about it here in the next couple of seconds.
What a lead-in!
Yeah.
So you ready for him?
I thought that would have been the clue. It's like he might have a few things to say in the next couple of seconds.
I'm giving him time to seethe. Thank you, Joe. Eric.
Well, obviously, I write comics, and this is what I'm mostly known for, the Zone for World of Oz. We've been launching. We've done 4 issues. This is the trade. This is the hardback trade. That were a pain in the butt. But anyway, we are doing our first spin-off series, Zombiful Adventures, which will feature Tom Sawyer. I almost said Tom Cruise.
Hanging on the side of the
Tom
train.
Sawyer.
The I Am Oz team.
Cruise.
Same thing.
We're going to launch that in October. I should be launching the pre-launch page here in a week or so. But besides that, you can find me here every Thursday night. Later on a drawing show every Thursday night. But I just dropped a link in the chat for Brian Rodman's Patreon. Go out there and keep up with him. See what he's doing while he's not with us. Follow his stuff out there. He posts regularly. Go check him out. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
And Clyde Hall.
Hey, speaking of friends that have projects in the works, have you checked out Stellari? It's a game system that Cindy Kep has a Kickstarter going right now. I don't have the link. If any of you guys do, and you could post it, I'd appreciate it.
One moment.
Currently, I think she's got about 19 days left to meet her Kickstarter goal. And it looked...
over halfway or 3/4 of the way.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen an update for a while.
Let me check here.
Checking it out. Okay. Okay, I'm on it too.
Okay.
She's got a short version of the address, but I'm on the thing. She has 11 backers, 8 days to go, $606 out of a $725 goal. That's $119. And to think I took journalism so I wouldn't have to do math.
So if you can, go out there, support. Read her. She has some really interesting updates. So look her up on Kickstarter. She has a Patreon account, but she supports a Rising Tide group. So we encourage you to support her work too. I'm Clyde, and a sexagenarian. Now, how sexagenarian am I? I got my news breaks between cartoons and Saturday morning live action shows, courtesy of Christopher Glenn and In the News. I hold a September season pass to the Honeycomb Hideout. My nutritional regimen came courtesy of Time for Timer, who always had great recipes like sunshine on a stick. My math, government, history, and grammar instruction came as a package deal from...
Don't keep us in suspense.
And My Nation, A Great American Melting Pot. Along with classic horror movies, fantasy literature, fan fiction, tabletop RPGs, vintage toys, old-time radio dramas, pulp fiction, and especially comic books, they combine for a magical upbringing. So, now I'm a comic book reviewer and still a comic book fan, and that's why I do online comic book reviews at places like Doom Rocket and Comics Beat. I write and crew over at Stormgate Press, and that includes my
And I think Clyde has frozen. There he is.
What?
You froze up a couple times there, buddy.
Oh, okay. You can, again, I write for Charles F. Millhouse over at Stormgate Press, and I contributed to his Captain Hawkins, The Lost Adventures project, entitled The Banshee Barnstormer. My author's page on Amazon, and see all the new pulp anthologies that I am featured in. Because Stormgate is the place, just like the Eric Hawkins, the place for new pulp releases, such as the 3 award-winning volumes of Pulp Reality, 1, 2, 3, with number 4 coming very soon. You can find those on Amazon, but you can also visit us at www.stormgatepress.com. And I am very proud to be part of the Stormgate Bullpen. And one visit there is going to show you why. Proud to be a helper in an upcoming convention. It's the Multiverse Fundraiser. Annually, we do this weekend-long fandom jamboree and charity fundraising event all rolled into one. The Cereal Box Network sponsors the Multiverse Fundraiser, and it is hosted by Cosplay Cafe podcast baristas Crayley McDonald and Kelly Gettner. They are 2 parts of the Phoenix Sisters cosplay, and the next one of these events is coming up the weekend of January 20th through the 22nd, 2023. Our charity this year, all of our proceeds will go to the John Ritter Foundation for Heart Health. We're going to have sessions with celebrity guests. We'll have panels on a wide range of fandom and interests, from comic books to television shows, to cosplay, to role-play games probably. And it all goes to help a worthy cause. January sounds like a long way off, and I guess it is, but we collect donations of items in preparation. And that can never begin too soon. So if you have your own books or comics that you would like to promote, donating copies for our fundraising auction is a great way to get publicity. Just follow the Multiverse Fundraiser site on Facebook. And if you do that, if you like it and follow it, you can message Kelly or Crayley on how to donate items for the event, or you can go to, all one word, themultiversefundraiser.com site and follow the contact directions. Otherwise, you can find me through my author's page on Amazon, on Facebook, Clyde Hall.
SpaghettiOs.
It's happening again. Clyde? Clyde.
This is where we should break out a song called Freeze Spray, Freeze Spray.
I was thinking that too. Well, anyway, I think I better take over. Clyde Hall, thank you very much for your statue imitation. And I heard something about sexagenarian. Excuse me? Okay, never mind. Anyway, what Clyde was talking about was the Multiverse Fundraiser. Not fundraiser, but fundraiser. It goes towards an incredible charity and one that's useful for a number of us. And please give generously. Or if you are in the Mattoon, Illinois area, tomorrow or Saturday, the 9th and 10th of September, they are both going to be at Silcon, CIL-CON. Check out their event page on Facebook. I will be there as well with Molly Daniels, Carl Witzman, Donna Carlene, and Kathy Jackson and her family, and a whole bunch of great creators. Please come see us, all right? And like I said, Kelly and Crayley will be there. So if you want to bring a donation of any sort, please, you can drop it off there, or go to the multiversefundraiser.com and see the information there. Also want to mention that the weekend after, I will be at Autumn Blaze at the Waverly United Methodist Church on 115 West Main Street in Waverly, Tennessee. My special co-star will be Andy Shaggy Cordy. We're going to teach people how to do comics, how to put them together, how to raise the money for them, how to be publishers, and it's going to be a great time. Thank you, Rick Welchins, for having us in. Also, at Silicon, I forgot to mention, if you want copies of the latest issue and all issues of Zombieful World of Oz, plus the hardcover and the trade paperback, get them all. Be a completist, and we'll have all of that at the Rising Tide Publications page, along with our other great publications. Also, check out risingtide.pub for all the things we do. And we've got some final comments. Toki Wardtooth says, and so important for non-native speakers. I often read in second and third languages and could get lost quickly with spelling errors. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't speak a second language fluently. And my English is suspect too some days. But it's like, how would we know if it was being misspelled or not? That's a good point. And Donna Carlene, thank you for being here. Mwah! I will see you tomorrow night, darling. You have a great night. Give Joe Dog my love. And Hex Allen Comics, hello to you. How are you? Nope, not quite over because we were waiting for you. And also, if you want to support Cindy Kep, CKOEPB.com for her website. But check out 8 Days to Go. Like $109 or so, $119 in a wonderful game. And if you go to Cindy Kep's Facebook page, you will also see how Stellari is played. It is a quick 10-minute pickup game. It can be anywhere from 1 to 4 people or more, I understand, and it comes with everything you need to play the game. Plus, you can pick up the books that the game is based on. So please check that out, and please give that some support. And speaking of support, we want to thank our support, namely our Patreon page, our subscribers on Patreon. Patreon is a monthly subscription service where you can support your favorite creators directly, and these wonderful people support the Rising Tide, for which we are eternally grateful. So please check us out and see what you get in return, including our twice-a-week blog. Plus, I need to post the next chapter of Volcana 2, the Prometheus Frame-Up. We also want to thank Rising Tide Publications. Check them out on Amazon and Smashwords for all kinds of great things, and check out The Terrors coming later this year. And if that wasn't enough, we also want to thank our main sponsor, Mr. Jeffrey Hayes, and Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
you've worked hard and written a great book. Now, it's time to give it a great cover. If you're an indie author or small press publisher, Plasma Fire Graphics is your source for affordable cover illustration and graphic design. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you.
Check out the Plasma Fire Graphics page on Facebook, then go over to plasmafiregraphics.com and ask Jeffrey Hayes directly about his independent creator-friendly prices. He can also do book trailers like you just saw, as well as not just wraparound covers, and he'll get you the graphics you need to sell that book. Check them out. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it definitely matters to your readers. And someone else that matters to us is Hex Allen Comics. You're still here, I'm glad. And y'all are beautiful people, not drunk. We try. We have no excuse for our behavior, Hex Allen Comics. Please check out that channel on YouTube, all right? And thank you for being here, Hex Allen, and thank you all for being here. And remember, if you've enjoyed any part of this show, give us a like on Facebook and give us a thumbs up on YouTube. And please subscribe to this channel because we've got all kinds of great content coming your way soon. And with that, we're going to get into the exact place we need to be. And we want to thank everyone. We will be back 1 week from tonight on a new episode of Comic Book Spectrum, and we hope you have a great week. Go to your local comic shop or go online, go to Comixology, check out what's out there, go to hoopla.com, and found out the creators do get paid from Hoopla, so definitely check that out. So anyway, please support the comics industry because it's a great source of entertainment, all right? And you have a great week, and as always, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Have a great week. We'll see you next week on Comic Book Spectrum. Bye-bye, everyone.